Well, let's get more now on these developments in the metro, and let's speak to the ANC in Johannesburg. Its secretary is Sasabone Manganye. Mr. Manganye, good evening to you, and thank you very much for your time. Let's start with the real reason Kabelo Gwamanda was removed from the mayoral seat.
Yeah, good evening, Xoli, and also to your viewers. The African National Congress has been engaging on the reconfiguration of the government of local unity, the current coalition that we are in. And the reason why we have been engaging in that is because of the NEC of the ANC have developed the guidelines on the coalition for local government last year. And those guidelines, they are the ones that have indicated that the party that has majority of seats in council should have the mayor. And that is one area we were not complying with because we had a mayor that was coming from the minority party. Right. And we had to re-engage the parties that we are with in the government of local unity so that we can fully comply with that requirement. And I think the government of national unity statement of intent, which many parties have signed, it therefore made it easier for parties in the GLU to agree that it makes sense that the ANC, as the party with majority of councillors, should be able to take over the mayorship in the city of Johannesburg. Okay. That is the real reason.
All right. So in essence then, what you are telling us is that the Jama-h party and its mayors, because it's two of them, this is the second one now to go, what essentially they were convenient placeholders while the ANC got its house in order. That's what you're saying in not so many words, yes?
The ANC house has always been in order. The ANC in 2021 did not get 50% plus one majority to can form government by itself. We had to engage other parties in council, and the parties we engaged who agreed to work with us, they did not agree. In 2022, if you remember, they agreed, we voted Dada Morero, the regional chair, as the mayor in September.
Mr. Manganye, it's not in doubt. I don't want you to give us...
Let me answer your question.
Let me say it this way.
Okay.
It was already ANC policy that the party with the most seats must be the one that governs in these coalition arrangements. And in this instance, the ANC was that party which had the majority of seats. So, again, I'm going to ask it, but slightly crudely this time. So, Jama-h were useful tools. Am I right?
Jama-h, they are part of the government of local unity. The coalition arrangement at the time we elected the mayor in January 2023, it favored a minority mayor, a mayor that comes from the minority party, for the parties to vote for that mayor. And Jama-h councillor was selected to become the executive mayor. Okay. There was no placeholder. There was an executive mayor because the conditions at that particular time, they favored the minority mayor. It could have been a mayor from any other party, but this time it was the Jama-h party councillor, Thapelo Amat, followed by Kabelo Gwamanda.
All right. Is it true, we're moving the conversation forward now, is it true that Kabelo Gwamanda is going to be accommodated in the new mayoral committee?
Part of our coalition discussions, there are certain, responsibilities that have been agreed upon with the minority parties, which there are about 9 parties. There will soon be 10 when UIM join them. And they have got certain responsibilities allocated to them. And based on our engagement with them, Kabelo Gwamanda is one of their priorities, including the current speaker, Margaret Arnold.
Okay, so what are you telling us, in essence? Because I don't want to move here without spelling it out, you spelling it out to the viewers, that Kabelo Gwamanda, Margaret Arnold, they are no longer going to be in the positions, at least we know, on the part of Kabelo Gwamanda, but Margaret Arnold, that's the current Speaker of council. She is going to be removed from that position. That's what you are confirming here tonight. And so where will they be accommodated? Are they going to be part of the mayor's executive committee?
I have never confirmed that Margaret Arnold will not be the speaker. I can confirm the mayor will not be the mayor by Friday. And I can confirm that the speaker and the mayor are priorities of the minority groups. The speaker position in its current form is a position that is with the minority groups, parties that we are working with in the GLU.
Yeah.
And their priority after the speaker is Kabelo Gwamanda. So if there is a member of the mayoral committee that the mayor will want to appoint from the minorities, they will forward the name of Kabelo Gwamanda. You know, I don't want to come here and say Kabelo Gwamanda will become a member of the mayoral committee as if I'm the newly elected mayor. That is a prerogative of the mayor to decide on that. But the coalition discussions, yes, with the minority groups, if the mayor says, give me a name, or I wish to appoint one of you in the mayoral committee, with the discussion we had with the minority groups, they did confirm that Kabelo Gwamanda will be one of their priorities.
Okay, at least we've got a confirmation on that end, but this is going to complicate your life a little bit now. I'd like for us to listen for a moment to what was said at that media briefing by yourself as it relates to Action SA. I just want us to have a listen for a moment.
In our current form, we've got 145. This, of course, it will include the 9 minority parties and also the Economic Freedom Fighters, the IFP, the Patriotic Alliance, including ourselves. We haven't included the 44 councillors of the Action SA pending the finalization of our discussion with the Action SA. So meaning, as soon as we conclude those discussions with Action SA, we will be a coalition that is constituted by 191 councillors. In fact, the minorities have also reported that UIM also is joining us, which will take us to 192 as soon as we conclude. And we hope that we will conclude that at least before Friday, you know, when by the time we elect the new mayor.
What is the nature of the agreement between yourselves and Action SA?
We are still engaging with Action SA. Our last meeting was on Sunday. It is the public knowledge that Action SA have interest on the speaker, has interest on the chair of chairs, has interest even in chairing some of the Section 79 committees in council. After the meeting we had with them on Sunday, we consulted with the parties involved in the government of local unity, and we will be able to meet with them for feedback, starting with our provincial leadership. We'll meet them tomorrow morning for the feedback on those engagements, because they are leading the coalition discussions at the provincial level, and then we should be able to come up with way forward with the Action SA. So far, the discussions are still you know, continuing between the two parties.
Again, in the interest of time, I don't want us to beat about the bush here. Margaret Arnold comes from the AIC, am I correct?
Correct.
How many numbers do they have in the council?
2 councillors.
Against how many of the Action SA?
There is no competition between AIC and Action SA.
Okay, so we can take it as a foregone conclusion that Margaret Arnold is gone from that position.
Margaret Arnold is the speaker. She has since issued a notice today for Friday for a council to elect the new mayor. There is no any foregone conclusion. Margaret Arnold remains the speaker of the city of Johannesburg.
Final question to you, sir. Dada Morero, is he the best person to lead the city of Johannesburg? If so, why?
Dada Morero is one of the cadres of our movement who have been involved, you know, in the liberation of the people of South Africa at a younger age. And he has demonstrated that he has, an interest to serve society. And that is why even the structures of the African National Congress have showed interest in him, who led as the regional secretary for more than 10 years and now as the regional chairperson. The Regional Executive Committee nominated him as part of the 3 cadres, the best of the best that we have in the African National Congress, to become our mayors. And out of the 2021 process, you will know Mpomierani was the candidate and Dada Morero was following Mpomierani. And the late Mpomierani, when he passed on, then Dada Morero became our mayoral candidate. So we have reaffirmed him because he have got even experience on local government. He was even an official. He has been managing even the government of local unit as the regional secretary, which of course even exposed him further into the city and in terms of what are the needs of the people of Johannesburg and what we need to do. He has been instrumental in terms of developing the manifesto of the African National Congress in 2021. He knows what is it that we have committed to the people of Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And we believe he is the right person to ensure that we stick to the commitments we have made of ensuring we accelerate service delivery.
Okay. What I'm hearing from you is that, number one, struggle credentials are important and may have influenced the ANC to put him forward. His experience within party structures, I can also hear that coming out strongly from you. But this is an executive mayor position. So I'm asking you, what qualifies him in terms of the discipline? What qualifies him to lead the city of Johannesburg with a massive budget, which has huge problems right now?
So you are deliberately ignoring the fact that I also mentioned his experience on local government, because it's one of the critical elements that enabled him to become the MMC of Finance, whom by so far he have tried to assist us to reverse some of the challenges that we came across when the DA was in charge. You will know that when we removed Mpopalazi, the Democratic Alliance was even failing to pay service providers. Cars were getting grounded. JMPD did not have cars to do their job, and a number of things that were collapsing.
Can I ask you this?
And his appointment as the MMC of Finance.
Can I ask you this? Through his current position as MMC of Finance, was he the person who tabled the proposal for the 200 Rand monthly surcharge? Is he the person responsible for that?
The 200 monthly surcharge was, it is a product of a process which City Power have engaged on, applied with NESA. NESA approved that 200. In fact, the city of Johannesburg is one of the metros that never had surcharge for prepaid users. When all other metros, they have the surcharge. The 200 is the lowest compared to all others. And of course, there have been some of the concerns that have been raised on the surcharge. And we have taken a posture as the African National Congress, working with the GLU partners to say there is a need to review that, given the fact that you have got our residents that have got financial challenges, and one of those issues that we think is also increasing the burden in them is the surcharge. But the surcharge is already been paid by those who are not prepaid. It has been there for the longest period.
But
it was
is
only
under
the
review.
prepaid.
But based on your very response, you're saying it's now come under review because people are struggling financially. So the question they'll be asking themselves is this mayor, does he have our best interests at heart?
This is the MMC of Finance. We made that announcement that on the basis, if you remember the council meeting where we approved the law, it is Councillor Morero as the MMC of Finance who said, on the basis of the concerns we have received from the residents, we have taken a decision to review the surcharge in the interest of the people of Johannesburg. That is a listening leader. That is the listening kind of government that you require, because you take decisions of course, informed by the conditions in which those decisions are taken.
All right.
And the people, where in the implementation phase of the decision, the people raises concerns to show that you are listening, you listen to the people and you take an initiative. And when we do budget adjustment, we will be able to announce how we are going to review this 200 moving forward. But it's a necessity. Reviewal is not because of it is not important. It is important. We review on the basis that we must listen to the people of Johannesburg, and we must be able to do whatever it takes to better their lives and make it easier for them. Because this 200, for an example, it's about the infrastructure for electricity. You know, you have power cuts that are unplanned because of the infrastructure is old. Yeah. You have got new areas that have been developed that are not electrified. This 200 must assist us with all those things.
Indeed, but I'm sure you and I can also agree, we're out of time, but we can also agree that where there is wastage and there aren't any limited areas where you will find that, that's where perhaps where this 200 rands monthly surcharge could possibly be found or become.
Yeah, look, the areas where there is wastage, if you checked our statement, we did indicate, in fact, in terms of recoveries also that have been done through the, the investigation unit that is there in the city, the 200 surcharge, it's separate from, because when you do budgeting, there are different areas that you focus on. Okay. And in this area of electricity, where the electricity, it's supposed to, the infrastructure, we're supposed to deal with the electricity infrastructure from the money that is paid by the customers who are utilizing the electricity. Okay. Your user pay principle. So hence this 200 is relevant. It's not going to be used for any other thing except for the purposes of stabilizing supply of electricity to the people of Johannesburg.
Sasabone Manganye, let me thank you very much for your time. The ANC's Regional Secretary in the city of Johannesburg. All right.